out on the beach and in the street. That's where we'll meet. Kevin Blanch, I want to talk about this report that a worker has been killed at the facility of Fukushima, Japan, fell into the tank. Oh, my. And you love how they caveat the word rainwater. I mean, the whole posture and grooming. I want to talk about my path, and I want to talk the fact that we know well over 10,000 of the Fukushima workers are dead. Chernobyl on Balco. There's a report, The Economist reported that 2 were killed at Fukushima, Japan on the facility and the plant. Let's be very, very, very real in the reality about this. The workers that go in on the backside being run by the mob. I got an email from the Fukushima 50's mom, back when I used to get 1,000 emails a day from Japan before the State Secrets Act that the United States pushed on them. This has been a very acute situation that he was going to die, 2 weeks, and I reported and everybody pulled back on me like they have anything, because the truth is hardcore right now. The truth is very tough. I want to talk about this. I had a dream last night. I want to talk about my art. People think this is a popularity contest, and this is not. This is art. This is an art form. Holy Moses, Michelangelo, 500 years ago, as we speak, finishing that incredible piece. He was considered nothing. He worked for 7 different popes. By the way, he was not gay. And I can get into that right over here. I remember as I was a young boy and I had muscles up and down my body. I had this beautiful long hair. And Michelangelo is the reason I became a plasterer when I was a boy. I had read that he had apprenticed as a fresco artist at 13. And so I started at 15, by the way. Still my love, been taken away. This guy come out. I was working right over here, doing this plaster work, and this old brilliant genius comes walking out and he says, "Kevin, I got to tell you, oh, do I love watching you. You got those little muscles all over your body and that beautiful blonde hair. What a physical specimen you are with that hawk and trowel going across there." He says, "I got to tell you, I can sit there and watch you for hours." He says, "I just admire the way your body's working, but I sure don't want to kiss you." His wife comes out. She was a beautiful, sophisticated lady. And we talked. He had her laughing so hard. Just because Michelangelo understood the male body like he understood the female body and those incredible, he was not a painter. He was a sculptor, and he was intense, and he was radical, and he struggled, and he fought. He was what an artist has to be. The greatest artist of all time, I think there's no doubt in my mind, Vincent van Gogh. But that's what I've been doing here. I've been recording history. As you know, I was working on my PhD, post-ignorance, when I got sick. That's how this YouTube site started. My place and time was carved out before I was born, like that sculpture. It took the family in Italy when he did this piece. That's what sent him into infamy. And it wasn't because he was connected to the family. It wasn't because he was not. He says it so beautifully, Michelangelo. He was raised by they called them wet nurses. And he says, "I was a rock mason. I've got scars all over my body from this beautiful granite that comes out of these, He says, "I was nursing on the wet nurse." And he says, "When I nursed on that wet nurse, her family were masons. Hardcore masons." He says, "That rock-splitting hammer and that thing, that's what turned me into the sculptor." I grew up in those pits. Those beautiful white pits right there. My grandfather's sand pits, the purest, most beautiful white sand in the world. I had a dream right before I got cancer. A utopic dream, and the dream was 44. It was a slot machine. Boom, 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 and it just kept paying. Giant, the biggest slot machine I ever seen. Came up 4-4, then these icons, and just kept spinning out 10,000, 100,000, a million, 10 million, 100 million. It just kept, most utopic dream I ever had. My Danish philosophy, my subconscious, I've always understood this. I've always been in symphony with my landscape. Autistic, absolutely. I have a twin sister. We know now that twins via the gene mutation, a lot of them die of leukemia because it's a gene, male-female twin. Come on, that's a genetic mutation by definition. This has not been a popularity contest. This has been me recording history. at the Megan Rice trial. Well, I had a dream last night. First real utopic dream I've had. Megan Rice was in my dream. It was a very spiritual, joyful, happy feeling come over me. And in the dream, it told me, the dream told me, Kevin, your acute period's over. The acute, intense period. I want people to know I got AML leukemia in my guts. I know the survival. I've watched the death of Annika. I watched the death of my father. I watched the death of this so many, and I know. You can't just, I mean, Celeste says it best at the bone marrow transplant unit at LDS. Kevin, I prepared your paperwork when you came in. She says, I was expecting to prepare your paperwork to go out within a few days. You're a red 10. I've been here 26 years. And she doesn't say this to anybody. She's retired now. She says she's going to write a book. And she says, come here. Right before she retired, Kevin, can I talk to you? You know, and she says, you know, people around here love you. Dr. Peterson loves you. You saved your life. And Julie, she loves you. And she says, I got to tell you, I love you. She says, you know, you go in and out of the clinic, you talk to everybody, you're friendly in there, you're tense, you know. She says, I am so proud of you. She says, what you've done and how you've done it. She says, I've been here 26 years. Thousands, many thousands. Never seen a red 10 walk out here. Never. You're the only one. My acute period's over. I've told this in a very acute, intense way. I've been purely recording history in an artistic way. Michelangelo was recording history. You know, the family stepped forward, not because he was connected, because the family saw that sculpture and went, that's the most magnificent, brilliant piece of art ever created. And even they, oh, they knew. Said people today, and I've got to get there this year to see Moses, and that's my plan, and I'll do my walk. Megan Rice trial on the beach. I've walked my walk up and down that beach. I've been on every single pier. I've walked all that freaking beach. This is an amazing story. Haven't been able to write about it. I've wanted to write about it, but it's been too acute and intense. Found that. So I want people to understand there's a young woman, her name's Becky here. She's the first House Speaker in Utah. Her and I's gone at it many times. She supported Stair Cycle. She supported the Earth Rapers. She supported them all. You know, I've been in that Capitol fighting tooth and nail. I'm the guy that shut down Blue Castle, make no mistake about it. I'm very key component of all this at the shutdown of San Onofre. So much of this my fight, so many places, in the streets, Manhattan, fled Wall Street, so many people have fought, done everything. And I want to say this to everyone who's come forward and supported me and stood up by my side, sent me money, sent me donations, sent me love. I mean, there's a lot of loving people. You've never seen a comment from a lot of them. You've seen comments from other. Oh, I love you guys. I mean, the Post-Ignorance Army, very real. The Million Masks, oh, I love those people. You know, we put that together in the streets of Washington, D.C. So spiritual, so powerful. Has it moved culture? Absolutely, we've moved culture. But has it helped me live and survive this disease? There's no doubt in my mind. No doubt without this path. You know, people have came to me. I'm an organic, mutated sunflower blowing in the wind. Always have been. So are you. Fukushima, the killing fields are on. Becky died. Remember the 5th of November. She got sick November 5th. It went into her brain. The University of Utah, the Huntsman Center, which they'll tell you it's a 1 in a million, it's not 1 in a million. That's what they want you to know. Huntsman Chemical kills millions a day. You know, they don't even make the top 100. Scripps doesn't make the top 100. It's just a big facade. It killed her. Beautiful woman. I disagreed with every word that ever come out of her mouth. Genius, whatever. She supported the very people that ended up killing her in the end. There's no doubt in my mind. That's what dogma is, but it broke my heart to see she died, even though we fought and disagreed on everything. She was an incredible person. I mean, it's heartbreaking. Fukushima has killed over 10,000 workers. Fukushima's killed well over 1 million in North America. The cancer rate is spiking post-Fukushima dramatically. Nobody wants to hear it. You're going to hear it from me. My acute period's over. The way I've addressed this and told this in my really radical intent, that's over. It's over. My acute phase, and as artists, I know we have these phases. I know we don't recognize them until, and puts it to our conscious, like the best paintings that I've ever done. I'll take my pencil or my paintbrush, have nothing, and just go. The nuclear triangle that I painted that's up there on in my art studio that sits there on the left, that's how that came on a Friday. That's Japanese script. That's all of it. That's Femin. That's all of it. I did that in 1994. The subconscious sees forward. He saw forward. Michelangelo. You know, I love how we try to take these giants, these absolute incredible giants that he was, and we try to twist them into pigeonholes. Oh, it's gay. No, he wasn't. You know, him and the poet, he and her were in love with each other. They had an incredible relationship, and he stood up against the machine. He worked for 7 different popes, by the way, and he stood his ground intensely, hardcore, and I think it's a beautiful term that this PhD come up with a while back and called it the panty painters. The Pope painted over the panty painters. They feminized him. They tried to feminize that. You know, Andy called it out beautifully, Warhol. He knew what he was up to. So that's what I've tried to do on this. This has been a PhD, literally. Who knew that I would get leukemia? I'm saying you're gonna get leukemia, you're gonna go, and then I got leukemia, and be able to watch that fight intensely through this Fukushima historical fight. My style's gonna change. You know, I'll still get radical once in a while and intense, but my acute, that's the helicopter that flies in that flew me to freaking LDS. Wow. Thank you to Dr. Peterson. Thank you to Vincent Hansen right over that beautiful soul. He saved my life. If not for him, I was told by multiple doctors in McQuackby that I would be dead in 2 months. Multiple doctors, multiple. But I held on to that dream. I follow my subconscious because I am a mutated sunflower. And oh, curses spite that I was ever born to set this right, but I was. And this was my path. And it was chiseled out before I was born, as my father was nuked to death in the Nevada test. That beautiful, beautiful person that he was. Oh. Wow, he was a specimen. Killed him. He was mutated. As at the Reagan hearing, America doesn't care, but PhDs will be done on these videos. It has been recorded. It's there. And you can't take that away from me. For that light, it shines inside of me. A man could tell 1,000 lies. I've learned my lesson well. Oh, have I learned my lesson well. But it's recorded. It's done. Fukushima the acute, even Fukushima the acute, it's over. It's hardcore chronic now. It's chronic, and the earth will be punished and pay and will kill. And on an individual basis, it's going to become a very acute for so many of you. For millions and millions and millions, if not billions, for time in all eternity. Fukushima, the kill zone is North America. It's a hardcore kill zone, and it's killing in droves. And it's chronic as far as the tale being told now. It was acute till today. I told it in the acute way. Fukushima's killed, my guess, well north of 2 million people. Post-Fukushima, the cancer rates have death via cancer that began to spike as we were getting so good with medicine. As my doctor said, it's stronger, it's more acute, and it kills faster than ever because it's accumulative into your bone marrow. So stay tuned. I'll continue to write, do this, and hopefully I'll do my writing. I'm going to be at the Helen Caldecott Symposium. I'm going to do my walk at Diablo Canyon on the 11th, and I'm going to walk San Francisco along the beach. What a beautiful freaking spot that is. So the Post-Ignorance Project, it's going to change the way I present it. I'm going to be much more diplomatic, much more poetry, much more, I don't know how the term, chronic, I told it in the cute way. I look back and I'm so proud of all the work that I did. I'm so proud of everything. I mean, I look at it, it's the best work I've ever done in my life. And I have 10,000 frescoes in this town, including the tree and the children's museum, including the Browns on the last lath and plaster. I still get calls over and over and over. I'm it. I'm the last lath and plaster guy that exists. My work stands all over this freaking town because of Michelangelo. 500 years ago, he was finishing Holy Moses. So I'll stay on this, but I'm going to change. Because I had that dream last night, and it was Megan Rice in the dream. She's a saint in my book, and nobody wanted to record this in history. Nobody had to be the artist. It had to be me. It was my place carved out in time. At the Reagan hearing for 2 years off and on. I was there by myself every day for a long time. I mean, literally by myself, protesting in 2013. The human lab rat and guinea pig, those 800,000 soldiers, they knew. This is evil. But the acute situation's over. Now we'll deal with it chronically. Try to survive. Stay tuned.